Friction Fire Tuesday. Fire Go Killer here with an excerpt from Tom Brown's Field Guide to Living with the Earth. Chapter 4, The Fire of Life. When Stalking Wolf made a fire, he used the hand drill. The hand drill is a long, thin willow rod or mullein stalk that is twirled between the palms, spinning and applying downward pressure at the same time. The idea is to get the butt end of the stalk to create enough friction against the fireboard to start it smoking and make a coal. Rick and I had a difficult enough time learning the Bowdrill, which works on the same friction principle but is easier because you can apply a lot of downward pressure on the drill with one hand while spinning it with the bow held in the other. We had both tried the hand drill probably 100 times without any luck. The blisters on our palms had long since turned to calluses and we still couldn't make it work. Stalking Wolf came by once in a while, but he didn't say anything. He knew we had to learn through trial and error and that we needed to strengthen ourselves through repeated failure. Eventually, Rick and I were both strong enough and had the right form, but we still weren't getting a good coal. We even teamed up. Rick sat on one side of the board and I on the other, and we would trade off so that when one of us had spun our way down to the bottom of the stalk, the other one would start at the top to keep it going without letting the fireboard cool down. A couple of times we got a coal and excitedly lifted the tinder to blow on it. But by the time we got it into the air, it would go out. When Stalking Wolf came by, we were pretty frustrated. We told him we thought we had done everything right and asked him why it didn't work. Stalking Wolf agreed that we were doing everything right, which only confused us more. Then he picked up the mullein stalk himself. He closed his eyes for a moment and placed it onto the fireboard. What he did then looked as easy as striking a match. One spin down the stalk, palms rubbing, stalk twirling, and the air filled with the smell of burning cedar. When the twirling stopped and the air cleared, Rick and I could see the little coal in the notch and the wisp of smoke rising up from it. Stalking Wolf flicked the coal onto the tinder, and bent down to pick it up. He wrapped the tinder carefully around the coal like a bird nest cradling a precious egg. Then he blew on it with a thin stream of air. He did everything we had done. The only difference I could see was that he seemed to be talking to the coal. He was coaxing and encouraging it with little gestures and expressions. There was no frenzy or excitement. It was more like a kind of affection that he was lavishing on the coal. The coal grew and he continued to nurture it. He did this with the utmost care and patience, calculating just where and how to send the next breath and just how to compact the tinder so that the coal would grow and spread. He treated it like a little heart that was pulsating in the middle of an embryo. With each breath, it expanded and glowed more brightly until the tinder was consumed in smoke. Finally, the tinder burst into flames in his fingertips and he placed it under the kindling that had been propped up teepee style inside the fire pit. Rick and I watched as Stalking Wolf added more pieces of kindling to the teepee structure. It all looked so easy. The little fire flickered and licked upward. The flames began to dance and curl around the edges of the wood. As the heat radiated toward us, we asked Stalking Wolf once more what we had done wrong. He turned to us and said, "Did you ask for a fire?" Then he left. Rick and I were confused. No, we had not asked for a fire, but we didn't see that it would make much difference. All the same, we tried it again, this time remembering the attitude Stalking Wolf had displayed when he made his fire. We opened our hearts to the Great Spirit. We thanked the fireboard and the mullein stalk and the tree that the tinder had come from, asking them all to bless us with a good coal. We thanked the sun for its energy and asked it to reward our efforts. Then, just to be sure, we thanked the plants and animals whose wood we had taken, and we asked them for their help too. I believe we did almost everything the same as before, but we did not feel the same about it. We felt more relaxed. We had a distinct feeling that we were not working alone. We felt that there were other entities in the shelter with us, peering over our shoulders, giving us the confidence we needed to make good use of our skills. This, I believe, gave our movements a fluidity that was more in tune with the materials we were working with, and we succeeded. We could not have done it ourselves had our skills been lacking, but asking for fire had given us the edge we needed, and I cannot count the times that it has worked since then. Tom Brown's Field Guide to Living with the Earth. Full of cool stories like that. I don't need a fire, Earth, but I need a coal so that I might know that my skills are still sharp and my attitude is still right and my respect for creation is still there.